I think for me, it ticks every single box that we need and require as humans. I think the pace that the bush and easy, hard living, I guess, which is a bit of a catch-22, is our pace as a species. I don't think we're meant to live in big, busy, noisy, UV lights in your face. I don't think we're built like that, as much as we like to think that we are. Sustainability, for me, is about treading easy on the planet. I think full sustainability is near on impossible as far as financial, but I think it can come pretty close. And I think there's something really organic about using your body and creating your food and consuming your food and using your leftovers to fertilise your next food. I think there's something about the chain of events that happens, and that for me is what makes me happy.
For me, I could never live on the grid again.
Yeah.
I have trouble stepping into people's houses in town that are connected to the grid because I'm really conscious about our footprint, our carbon footprint every day. Yeah. Every day we step up, from first thing in the morning from a cup of tea, we are actually burning coal or having some impact on the planet. As far as what I'd recommend, look, it's kind of like how long's a piece of string. Yeah. It depends on how many deep freezers you own. Or you want to power, and that can change by what you eat as well. If you want to grow your own food, your power needs are actually less because you're not using as much refrigeration, because that was years ago. My first system when I came here in 1980 was an old recycled truck battery I got at the tip and one solar panel, which is only a 42 watt panel, which I paid $420 for, which was a huge amount of money back in those days. And it's like I've got a nuclear power plant now for nothing compared to what it was back then. Everything gets recycled here. I might buy a bag of nails, but that's about it, sort of thing. Yeah. Apart from that, every piece of timber, all the metal, everything here, all the roofing iron, all the building materials, everything is bought here and restored from scratch.
How did you learn to go off grid? Was it listening to other people? Was it doing research? Was it observing? Was it trial and error?
All of the above.
All right.
Desperation. Look, I did use when I first came here, I had very idealistic ideas, and I thought, well, I'm a carpenter. I've done a lot of carpentry. I didn't even use power tools back then because I didn't want to run a generator. Yeah. So I did things with hand planes and braces and bits and, building a building with a handsaw. It was ridiculous. It just took forever to do. But I ran a generator, then I hated starting a generator up just to do one saw cut. So I've been waiting a very, very long time for technology to change because it was changing rapidly. And I thought, I'm just going to wait. It's going to get cheaper. But I thought, I'm going to be an old man before I actually do anything the way I'm going with this attitude. So I sort of bit the bullet and got a decent battery bank, got some panels, and did the initial upgrade, which allowed me to run some power tools. And then the price of panels, come down to practically nothing, nearly giving them away now. And when that happened, it just meant that, hey, an old forklift battery, this, that, and just go and buy a decent inverter, and I can run drop saws, I can run electric planes, I can run any woodwork machinery that I like, can be run straight off the solar, dead easy now.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And this is what I'm trying to get across to people, that it's not impossible anymore. Whereas before it was just monetary-wise, it was out of the question.
Yeah.
But for somebody who wants to set up a very reliable system, you can do that for probably less than $5,000 now.
And any last things that you wanted to?
Do it. Just do it. It is doable. I take the question as being, how do you live a more sustainable life? Then definitely reducing your energy consumption is one. So whether or not you're on mains electricity or solar, at the end of the day, you should try and use less electricity all round. And when you do live off grid, you need to learn to live differently. You do your high energy consumption tasks during the day when the sun is up. So I've got my wood shop inside, and I've got to use those tools on sunny days, the big high power things. I don't want to run my generator, so I've got to think about the power. And at night times we don't have a very big system, so at night times we don't use much power. We don't do our washing at night, we don't run a dishwasher, we watch TV a bit. And that's probably our biggest drawer at night time. But I can't do woodwork and I can't do things like that. So I guess my first tip would be lower your expectations as to what you think you can do when you're off grid, unless you're prepared to spend bucket loads of money on an enormous system.
Yeah.
But for those of us that, a 15 grand system doesn't give you the capacity to run all of these mod cons, dishwashers and dryers and all the rest of it. In fact, probably all my tips are lower your expectations. You won't get as much power. You won't be eating out of your garden within the first 5 years, or maybe 10, or maybe 20. It depends how hard you can go. But we all come out to a rural block and we want to live here. And we've got these great pictures of ourselves wandering through the meadow with our goats following us, munching on carrot that I've just pulled out of the ground. And it's not like that. It's a lot of hard work. Be prepared to work hard and be mentally rewarded for that, because it feels great when you do pull a carrot out of the ground and eat it, or you do collect your own eggs, or you just cook on wood and you do things that connect you more back to nature. You feel great for it. I reckon that's universal, even though I know people that'll never come out of their house in the city and they'd find this quite terrifying. I think they'd still enjoy it. I think you need to lower your expectations and I think you need to learn an instrument, and you need to take deep breaths, and you need to just slow down and not try and do it all so fast. Learning an instrument is a good one. If you can play music, you'll have a good time.
I hope you enjoyed this episode and found the content educational and inspiring. If you got something out of it and you think you know someone else that would actually also enjoy it, we'd really appreciate if you could share the link with them and encourage them to check out our channel. Together, let's embrace the power of sustainable living.